Do you remember when a show that lasted only 3 minutes could teach you things you still have not forgotten today? Schoolhouse Rock did not just change the way children learned, it also changed the history of educational television. From its unforgettable songs to its memorable animated characters, everything looked simple on screen. But behind it were behind-the-scenes secrets, bold decisions, and facts that surprised even many longtime fans. Today we are counting down 12 weird facts about Schoolhouse Rock. Before we get started, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video so YouTube can bring this journey back to those memorable Saturday mornings to even more viewers. Let's kick off the countdown with number 12. I'm Just a Bill became a civic education icon.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
If you grew up in the 1970s or 1980s, there's a good chance your first lessons about American democracy came from a tired-looking Bill sitting on the steps of the Capitol. I'm Just a Bill was not just a cartoon, it was a civics lesson told through a swing tune.
Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city.
Jazz pianist Dave Frishberg wrote the song, and it officially premiered on March 27, 1976 in America Rock. The story is very simple. A little bill tells the story of its long procedural journey to becoming a law, from committee hearings and votes in Congress to the president's final signature. But Frishberg turned that entire process into a melody that anyone could remember. The rolled-up parchment was voiced by jazz trumpeter Jack Sheldon. His signature raspy voice made the character sound both tired and relatable. The boy who keeps asking questions throughout the song was actually Sheldon's real-life son, John. Father and son both provided voices, creating an interesting behind-the-scenes detail about the show.
But I know I'll be a law someday, at least I hope and pray that I will.
Frishberg's melody is a blend of jazz and commercial jingle music. It is upbeat, slightly nostalgic, and especially memorable.
But today I am still just a bill.
Millions of children learned how a bill becomes a law, even before they knew the names of all the state capitals. Perhaps the legislative process had never been made so easy to understand and so easy to sing. Of course, the lesson also simplified reality. There were no filibusters, no lobbying, and no political gridlock. Just one patient bill waiting to be signed into law. Years later, Politico and Vox both tried to update the lesson for modern times, but neither version matched the influence of the original.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far.
The song became so famous that The Simpsons parodied it, with Jack Sheldon returning to voice the character in Amendment to Be.
I'm not garbage. I'm an amendment to be. Yes, an amendment to be.
Saturday Night Live also created a comedy sketch about a bill that could not become a law.
But then I need from the Senate a majority. And if I pass the legislative test, then I wind up on the president's desk. And I say,
Family Guy and Robot Chicken also created their own parodies. In 2018, the Library of Congress added, I'm Just a Bill to the National Recording Registry, recognizing it as a recording of lasting cultural value worthy of preservation, an impressive achievement for a song about a bill. Number 11. It all started because one boy was not good at math. In the early 1970s, advertising executive David McCall noticed something interesting about his son. The boy could sing every Rolling Stones song by heart, but he could not remember 7x8, no matter how hard he tried. McCall suddenly came up with an idea. What if learning felt like listening to a song on the radio instead of sitting through a dry lesson? He turned to jazz musician Bob Dorough, an artist known for his witty lyrics and rhythm-filled songwriting. Before that, Dorough had even written an entire humorous album inspired by the ingredient labels on canned food. That made him the perfect person to turn something that seemed dry into something engaging. Dorough turned math into music with a song called 3 is a Magic Number.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is.
The melody was so catchy that even adults could not forget it. When illustrator Tom Yo, McCall's colleague at the advertising agency, heard the song, He immediately created illustrations to match it. In no time, the idea had grown beyond the framework of a lesson and become a real entertainment program.
It takes 3 legs to make a tripod or to make a table stand.
McCall and producer George Newell brought the idea to ABC. There they met Michael Eisner, a young executive who was looking for more educational programming for the network. Eisner loved the idea, but he still had some hesitation. Just then, animation legend Chuck Jones, who happened to be at the meeting, watched the pilot, turned to Eisner, and said only one short sentence: "Buy it." According to George Newell, it was one of the fastest deals ever made in television history. Eisner immediately ordered the entire series and arranged for it to air between cartoon programs. On January 6, 1973, Multiplication Rock officially premiered. From that moment on, children across America began to realize that learning could also be fun and full of rhythm. The success of the show paved the way for Grammar Rock, America Rock, and many other series, turning Schoolhouse Rock into a pop culture icon. Decades later, Michael Eisner said that people mentioned Schoolhouse Rock to him more often than Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Lion King. And it all started because one boy loved Mick Jagger more than math, along with one short sentence from the creator of Bugs Bunny. Number 10. Interplanet Janet was the space-age superhero of Saturday mornings.
They say our solar system is centered round the sun.
Before Neil deGrasse Tyson was explaining black holes on social media, we had another guide to the universe. She was an animated girl wearing a silver jumpsuit, carrying a jetpack, and flying across the solar system with rhythmic hand motions. Interplanet Janet first aired on November 18, 1978 in Science Rock. It was part of a short-lived spin-off series that many viewers loved, replacing lessons about grammar and government with gravity, gas giant planets, and facts about outer space. Lynn Ahrens wrote and performed the song. Yes, the same Lynn Ahrens who later won a Tony Award and also wrote the Preamble. She created a girl from the future who traveled across the universe to teach children the order of the planets. What made it special was that a lesson about astronomy was told through an upbeat and memorable melody.
Travels like a rocket with her comet team, and there's never been a planet Janet hasn't seen.
Each verse takes listeners on a journey around the solar system, past the rings of Saturn, the clouds of Venus, and even lonely Pluto, at a time when it was still considered the 9th planet. At the time, the song was scientifically accurate, even though most of the worlds on the edge of the solar system had not yet been clearly photographed. Lynn Ahrens and the animators had to rely more on imagination than on real data, and that became part of the charm of Science Rock.
And Pluto, little Pluto, is the farthest planet from our sun.
For an entire generation of children, Interplanet Janet was their first astronomy lesson. Teachers rolled television sets into classrooms on carts, and the whole class hummed along while writing the names of the planets on diagrams. The song was short, easy to remember, and stayed in their minds for years, almost like learning orbital mechanics through a disco song. Then came 2006. Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet, making Janet's famous lyric about the 9 planets no longer accurate. Later, DVD releases quietly changed it to 8 planets, while many teachers simply paused the song to explain what had happened to Pluto. Janet truly returned in 2009 with solar power to the people, showing that she was still traveling alongside a new generation of viewers.
Janet!
There she goes. Interplanet Janet took a trip to the shore.
Decades later, Interplanet Janet still brings back the optimism of the 1970s, a time when space was the future, and the solar system still had 9 planets for everyone to sing about. Number 9. The songs had to be exactly 3 minutes long. If the Schoolhouse Rock segments always felt short and concise like a pop song, that was not a coincidence. Every segment had to be exactly 3 minutes long. This was not an artistic choice or a reference to 3 as a magic number, but a requirement from ABC. The network needed segments that were exactly 3 minutes long to fill the gaps between Saturday morning cartoon programs, time slots that were normally reserved for commercials or network promotions. Coming from the advertising industry, David McCall and his team understood this limitation very well. They were used to delivering a great deal of information in a short amount of time, so every lesson was built like a commercial for learning. As a result, every song was short, catchy, and straight to the point. However, that also meant some details had to be cut. The original version of 3 as a magic number was longer and included the lyric, "A man and a woman had a little baby."
A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3.
That lyric was removed to fit the time limit. Other songs such as My Hero Zero and The Four-Legged Zoo also had to trim their introductions or a few verses before those parts were restored in later album releases. Yet that 3-minute limit became a source of creativity. Every song had to capture the audience from the very first seconds, deliver a complete idea, and end just as the next program began. The result was a collection of short but unforgettable lessons, turning what seemed like simple filler segments into a classic part of popular culture. Number 8. The Preamble taught the Constitution better than school.
In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers did agree.
If you can still sing the opening words of the United States Constitution but cannot remember your Wi-Fi password, you probably have Schoolhouse Rock to thank.
The USA was just starting out, a whole brand new country.
The Preamble first aired on November 1, 1975 as part of America Rock, the show's gift to America for the nation's bicentennial celebration.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
While most children were busy watching Scooby-Doo solve mysteries, Schoolhouse Rock was teaching them how a nation was formed.
Establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility.
Lynn Ahrens wrote and performed the song, and it was also one of her first professional projects. Many years later, Ahrens won Tony Awards for Ragtime and Once on This Island, becoming one of the biggest names in musical theater.
Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare and
The song set the preamble to the United States Constitution to music, turning the words "We the People" into a gentle folk-inspired melody. To match the rhythm, Ahrens removed only 4 words, "of the United States." Aside from that detail, the lyrics remained almost identical to the original text. The animation follows the journey from Philadelphia in 1787 to modern America, taking viewers through the process of the Founding Fathers drafting the Constitution.
to ordain and establish this Constitution.
The song proved even more effective than expected. Many teachers began using the preamble in civics classes. Quite a few students who had little interest in history were able to memorize the opening of the Constitution after hearing it only a few times. One teacher in the 1980s even joked that half the students in her class would unconsciously hum the tune whenever they took a test.
For the United States of America.
The New York Times praised America Rock in 1976 for turning the Constitution into a musical experience that was both memorable and accessible. That was high praise for an animated program that aired on Saturday mornings. Decades later, the Preamble remains one of the most beloved songs from Schoolhouse Rock. For many members of Generation X, it is not just a cartoon song, but the way they first learned the meaning of the words "We the People." Number 7, 3 as a magic number entered the world of hip-hop. If you grew up with Schoolhouse Rock and later lived through the MTV era, this story will probably surprise you. The math song that played every Saturday morning became the foundation of a classic hip-hop track. In 1989, De La Soul released its debut album, 3 Feet High and Rising, and sampled Bob Dorough's 1973 recording of 3 as a Magic Number. They did not just borrow a piece of music, they turned it into the heart of the song, the magic number.
3, that's a magic number. Yes, it is.
The lyric that helped so many children memorize their multiplication tables became the chorus of one of the most famous alternative hip-hop songs. But this time, the meaning of the number 3 had changed. It was no longer about mathematics, but represented the 3 members of De La Soul, along with their message of peace, positivity, and the philosophy they called the DAISY age.
Somewhere in this hip-hop soul community was born 3 mixed up in me, and that's a magic number.
The song also blended many different musical elements, from Lesson 3 by Double D and Steinsky to a drum break from Led Zeppelin, creating a mix that was playful, intelligent, and full of personality. Interestingly, the Schoolhouse Rock sample never led to any copyright disputes. However, copyright issues involving the other samples kept 3 feet high and rising off streaming platforms for decades, until it was finally released in full in 2023. As a result, when Spider-Man No Way Home used the magic number during the end credits in 2021, many younger viewers simply thought it was a great song. But for members of Generation X, they immediately recognized the familiar melody from Schoolhouse Rock. The filmmakers later confirmed that it was an intentional tribute. The song was chosen to represent the 3 Spider-Men, and the film's end credits were also inspired by the distinctive hand-drawn animation style of Schoolhouse Rock. From a children's educational program to hip-hop and then into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 3 as a magic number proved that Bob Dorough was right from the very beginning. 3 really is a magic number. Before we move on to the next facts, we are curious. Did you discover Schoolhouse Rock as a child, or have you only discovered the show in recent years? Share your answer with everyone in the comments. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our upcoming videos. Continuing the countdown with number 6, the name was inspired by Elvis. Before Schoolhouse Rock became a familiar name to millions of families, the show almost had a different title, Scholastic Rock. It sounded academic enough, but it also sounded more like the name of a test than a cartoon show for children. The problem was that the name already belonged to Scholastic Inc., forcing the creators to come up with another option. That was when they thought of Elvis Presley's 1957 hit Jailhouse Rock. The idea was incredibly simple but highly effective. By replacing the word jailhouse with schoolhouse, they instantly had a title that was catchy while still capturing the fun spirit of the show. The name made it clear that these were classroom lessons, but without sounding dry or restrictive. When Multiplication Rock premiered in 1973, the name Schoolhouse Rock officially made its debut as well and quickly became memorable to audiences. It was short, easy to remember, and made children far more excited than a title that sounded too much like a school book. Looking back, if the show had kept the name Scholastic Rock, quite a few children probably would have changed the channel within the first few minutes. Number 5. Every song had to be approved by a real school first. Before Schoolhouse Rock could teach millions of children, the show had to pass an important test. It had to be reviewed by education experts at Bank Street College of Education in New York. From the very beginning, the creative team did not just want to make catchy songs. They wanted them to have real educational value. So when Bob Dorough finished 3 as a magic number, the song was taken into real classrooms for students to hear. The results exceeded expectations. The students not only remembered the melody, but also remembered the math facts. That success convinced ABC that the show could truly combine entertainment with education.
4, 3,
3, 6, 9,
12,
12, 15, 18,
21.
21, 24, 27, 30.
From that point on, Bank Street College reviewed every script and every song lyric before broadcast, making sure all the information was accurate, even when it was presented through fun rhymes. Their role became even more important in America Rock, where subjects such as the United States Constitution and the nation's westward expansion required careful verification. This partnership became one of the things that set Schoolhouse Rock apart. The show was entertaining enough for children to love, yet accurate enough for teachers to trust. Perhaps that is why so many people still remember the lyrics of the songs more clearly than what they once learned from their textbooks. Number 4. Bob Dorough was a true jazz legend. Schoolhouse Rock turned multiplication into captivating melodies, and the man behind it was Bob Dorough. Long before he helped children remember 3 as a magic number, he was already a highly respected name in the jazz world. From the 1950s onward, Dorough performed at jazz clubs in Paris with many famous artists. In 1956, he released his debut album, Devil May Care, which stood out for its witty lyrics and sophisticated harmonies.
I'm happy as I can be. I've learned to love and to live. Devil may care.
It was that style, both intelligent and playful, that caught David McCall's attention years later. Then another legendary name entered the story: Miles Davis. In 1962, Dorough and Miles Davis recorded two songs, Blue Hetmas, To Whom It May Concern, and Nothing Like You. Davis once called Dorough a sanctimonious tyrant, and coming from someone as notoriously demanding as Miles, that was almost a compliment. When McCall needed a musician who could make mathematics come alive, Dorough's blend of bebop jazz and skillful wordplay made him the perfect choice.
Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Lolly, 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 got some adverbs here.
Dorough's influence can be found throughout almost all of Schoolhouse Rock, from the unexpected key changes to the funky rhythms that made even grammar sound captivating. Even after becoming a familiar figure to millions of children, he continued his musical career. Dorough performed well into his 90s, signed with Blue Note Records in his 70s, and often included Junction in his live performances, allowing audiences of every age to sing along. In 1974, he received a Grammy nomination. In 2019, Bob Dorough was posthumously honored with the National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Masters Award, one of the highest honors awarded to jazz artists in the United States. The man who helped an entire generation memorize the multiplication tables also proved that, with music, even a grammar lesson could become inspiring. Bob Dorough passed away on April 23, 2018, at the age of 94. Number 3. Junction, the song everyone remembers. You are humming it already, aren't you? If there is one Schoolhouse Rock song that an entire generation can sing from the very first notes, it is Junction.
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Written by Bob Dorough and performed by jazz trumpeter Jack Sheldon, this segment first aired on November 17, 1973, as part of Grammar Rock. The idea behind the song was very simple: to teach children how conjunctions connect words, phrases, and clauses. But that very simplicity turned it into one of the most famous and memorable lessons in television history.
I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
What made the song special was its railroad metaphor. A cheerful train station where train cars named but or connected sentences the same way railroad cars are linked together on the tracks. The image was familiar, easy to understand, and blended naturally with the song's melody. Jack Sheldon's signature raspy voice brought the entire song to life. He was not just an ordinary studio singer, but a veteran jazz musician and also a regular collaborator on The Merv Griffin Show. His natural singing style made a grammar lesson easy to listen to and easy to remember. The backing music was also performed by real jazz musicians. That is probably why the song sounds more like a performance in a jazz club.
And that's an additive, like this and that.
Than a lesson about grammar. But what made Junction truly unforgettable was its lyrics. The familiar chorus did more than explain how conjunctions work. It helped millions of children remember the lesson naturally. The song quickly moved beyond the classroom and became part of popular culture. It appeared in Reality Bites in 1994, Glee, and in 2010 it was even used as the hold music for the United States Department of Education.
Junction, what's your function?
Ask anyone born between 1965 and 1985 what conjunctions do, and there is a good chance they will not answer with words. They will sing the answer to you. Decades have passed, and Junction is still running right on schedule. It is proof that sometimes a great lesson only needs a catchy melody, a memorable rhythm, and the right storyteller. Number 2. The Jazz Cats use their own children as backup singers. One interesting fact is that Schoolhouse Rock did not just teach children also helped create the show's songs. During the first stage of production, Bob Dorough and his jazz musician friends kept everything close to home. When it came time to record the backing vocals, they did not hire a professional choir. Instead, they invited their own children into the recording studio. Dorough's daughter, Arlie Dorough, along with the sons and daughters of several other musicians, took part in the recordings. The result was even more special than anyone expected. Those natural, untrained voices created a feeling that was genuine and familiar, just like the atmosphere of a real classroom. That comes through especially clearly in The Four-Legged Zoo, where Bob Dorough's warm voice blends with the children's enthusiastic responses. It sounds as if learning is happening right in front of you, joyful, a little spontaneous, and full of energy. What is worth noting is that Schoolhouse Rock was not created as a massive project by major corporations. It began with a group of musicians and advertising professionals who simply wanted to find a better way to help children learn. Having their own children take part in the recordings gave the entire show a warm and family-centered atmosphere. That authenticity became part of what made Schoolhouse Rock so appealing. The show brought learning into family living rooms, where children could sing, play, and absorb knowledge naturally. And while Bob Dorough was helping America learn to count and rhyme, his daughter and the other children were quietly adding their voices to create melodies that have lived on for generations. Number 1. The creators made almost no money. Although Schoolhouse Rock brought joy, knowledge, and lasting memories to millions of viewers, the people who actually created the show, from the songwriters and writers to the animators, received very little from its success. That was because Schoolhouse Rock was created inside the advertising agency McCaffrey and McCall, the firm that handled ABC's advertising account. The show was not an independent passion project, but a work produced under contract. That meant everything, from the songs and characters to the animation, was owned by the advertising agency and later by the television network.
That's called interest. You're making money that way, and you can buy that gear about a year from today.
Jazz musician Bob Dorough, widely regarded as the creative heart of the series, was reportedly paid on a per-song basis, much like other advertising work. Even after Schoolhouse Rock became a cultural phenomenon, he still had to perform in jazz clubs and teach music to make a living. Songwriter Lynn Ahrens also received only modest compensation for her contributions. When ABC took full control of the show, the creators no longer retained ownership of their work. Then in 1996, when Disney acquired ABC, the entire Schoolhouse Rock library, including the songs, characters, and animated films, became Disney's property. From that point on, revenue from home video releases, merchandise, and reruns went to the copyright owner rather than to the people who had created the show. Bob Dorough accepted that reality with remarkable calm. Even in his 80s, he continued performing Schoolhouse Rock songs during his jazz concerts and smiled as audiences sang along to "Three is a Magic Number" in Junction. The fame lasted, but the money never matched that success. In the end, they did not become millionaires because of Schoolhouse Rock, but they helped generations of children learn through music. That is a legacy that cannot be measured in money. So that brings our journey back to those Saturday mornings with Schoolhouse Rock to an end. If you could choose just one song to listen to again right now, would it be Junction, I'm Just a Bill, or another favorite we did not mention? Share your choice in the comments. Your memory might bring back someone else's childhood too. If you enjoy exploring weird facts about classic movies and television shows, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next fascinating stories. Thank you for spending your time with us. We will see you in the next video, where even more behind-the-scenes secrets are waiting to be discovered.